The Man Who Changed America Without Firing a Single Shot. Part 1. On a cold November morning in 1963, as the motorcade rolled through Dallas and the world held its breath, very few people understood that the forces shaping America's future had been set in motion decades earlier, quietly, invisibly, in back rooms, bank offices, military laboratories, and forgotten government files. The assassination of President John F. Kennedy would shock the nation. But what most Americans would never learn was that the real story of power, betrayal, money, and shadow influence did not begin in Dallas. It began long before, in the ashes of World War II. The secret America was never taught. In 1945, as Nazi Germany collapsed and Japan prepared to surrender, the United States stood at a crossroads. The war had made America the most powerful nation on earth. Its factories were unmatched. Its military was dominant. Its scientists had split the atom. But behind the victory celebrations, U.S. intelligence officials were making decisions that would reshape history in ways the public would never be told. They called it Operation Paperclip. Officially, it was a program to bring German scientists to the United States so they could not fall into Soviet hands. Unofficially, it was something far darker. Hundreds of former Nazi engineers, doctors, intelligence officers, and weapons designers were secretly brought to America. Many had been members of the Nazi Party. Some had directly participated in war crimes. Their pasts were quietly erased or sanitized. They were given new identities, new records, new futures. And in exchange, they gave America their knowledge. Among them was a brilliant rocket engineer named Wernher von Braun. Von Braun had helped design the V-2 rocket, the world's first long-range guided ballistic missile used to rain destruction on London. The rockets were built using slave labor from concentration camps. Thousands died building them. Yet in America, von Braun would become a hero. He would stand beside U.S. presidents. He would smile on television. He would help design the Saturn V rocket that took Americans to the moon. To the public, it was a triumph of science. Behind the scenes, it was a moral compromise that set a dangerous precedent. In the New World Order, power mattered more than justice. The birth of the shadow state. In 1947, the United States created a new institution that would forever change the balance of power: the Central Intelligence Agency. The CIA was not just an intelligence service. It was a tool for secret war, covert operations, psychological warfare, regime change, assassinations, disinformation. What the American people were told was that the agency protected democracy. What internal documents would later reveal was that the agency often acted without meaningful oversight, sometimes even lying to Congress and the president himself. During the Cold War, fear of communism became the justification for almost anything. Overthrowing elected governments, funding secret armies, manipulating foreign elections, running illegal experiments. Yes, illegal experiments. The experiments that should have ended careers. In the early 1950s, the CIA began a program that would later become one of the darkest chapters in U.S. government history. Its code name, MK Ultra. The goal? To see if the human mind could be controlled. Scientists secretly dosed unwitting civilians, soldiers, and prisoners with LSD and other hallucinogenics. Some were kept in isolation. Some were psychologically tortured. Some were driven to mental breakdown. One man, Frank Olson, a U.S. Army scientist, was given LSD without his knowledge. Days later, he fell or was pushed from a hotel window in New York City. For decades, the truth was hidden. When it finally came out, very few people were held accountable. Once again, a pattern emerged. Power protected itself. Money, war, and the military-industrial machine. As the Cold War intensified, another force grew stronger: the military-industrial complex. Defense contractors, weapons manufacturers, private research firms. They made enormous profits from fear. Every new threat meant new contracts. Every new war meant new billions. President Dwight Eisenhower, a former general, warned the nation in his farewell address in 1961. We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence by the military-industrial complex. But his warning would be largely ignored, because by then the system was already too big, too profitable, too deeply connected to politics. A young president and powerful enemies. When John F. Kennedy became president, he inherited this system, and according to many historians and former insiders, he began to challenge it. He clashed with the CIA after the failed Bay of Pigs invasion. He spoke about reducing Cold War tensions. He talked about limiting nuclear weapons. He reportedly